much. So I'm Liz Gallo. I am the CEO of YMaker. We are based out of New York City, and I'm currently in New York City. And if you could see the beautiful view behind me, you would see all of New York City. I am a former technology teacher, and now I run YMaker, where we do STEM and Maker Ed professional development. So I'm super excited to be here today with you to share some of the hottest new makerspace products. As a technology teacher, these products are products that I love and I highly recommend to teachers to use in their classroom and for kids and families to use at home. They are different and interesting, and they're all learning experiences. So if you're interested in buying any of these products, you can find them all on the YMaker store, ymaker.co/store. And you order them right on there, and we'll ship them to you and get them to you in no time. So definitely go there, check them out while I'm talking about it. All right. So my first robot that I'm going to show you today is Marty. And I actually have Marty here with me. Marty is so cool because Marty is from a company out of the UK, and Marty has a personality. We can put faces on Marty, add lots of stickers. I have like mustaches, and I can change the color of Marty's eyes. And Marty walks, moves and dances and goes sideways and goes forward and does all these very interesting things. And Marty can be coded using a bunch of different colored cards. So you can place the cards down to make an algorithm and have Marty follow the algorithm. Marty can also be coded with Scratch, Scratch Junior, Python, and ROS. You can also connect Marty to a Raspberry Pi. You can buy Marty pre-assembled like I got, or you can build your own kit. And there's tons of educator lesson plans on their site that are actually connected to content that teachers teach. So Marty is such a great option for you, for your class, for your family. Definitely check out Marty. It's one of my absolute favorite new robots. And there's so much you can do with this personality and this energy that comes from Marty. All right, our next.
Hey, Liz, can I ask a question while you're on Marty?
Yep.
This looks fantastic. What age group is Marty for? I'm thinking my 7-year-old is right up Marty's.
Yeah, right, perfect for Marty. So yeah, so Marty can be for anybody because you can start coding with these colored cards, right? So you can start talking about algorithms, right? So slide to the right, slide to the left, move forward, and you can lay out all the color cards flat on the table. And then Marty will walk over them doing color code scanning and do the moves. So Marty can be for our basic beginner programmers to talk about algorithms and debugging and making programs. And then Marty also works with Scratch Junior. So if you want to introduce Scratch Junior to your 7-year-old, which is the perfect age for Scratch Junior, Marty would be perfect for that.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, and you can dress Marty up. You can put it in costumes, different hair, send it on all sorts of different adventures. Tell a story. All right, my next favorite new robot is Kai's Clan. And Kai's Clan is from some friends, some very nice friends in New Zealand. Kai's Clan is perfect for the middle school age, and it is a comprehensive technology product. So with the one Kai's Clan, you can code a physical robot. You can do virtual coding. So this is really impressive what they do. You can also do AR and VR, and you can 3D print attachments and do QR codes. There's so much you could do with it. So Kai's Clan has a collaborative virtual coding platform. So what that means is that Kai's Clan, the physical robot, and the mat might be in school, right? In school with the teacher. They have the mat set up, they have the robot there, they have a couple of robots, and you, students, can be at home coding the robot virtually. and the robot will physically move in the classroom. So Kai's Clan is like that kind of dream that we kind of wanted through COVID, where we can have kids coding remotely. And they also have this augmented reality and virtual reality platform. So I'm gonna pull it up on my phone. You can, this one is my favorite, so it's hard to see, but this is an augmented reality zone. So this is one of their factory mats. So they have it, oh no, this is a smart city. So you can drop into the smart city, look all around, but you can also connect this app, this virtual AR app, to the physical robots. So as your physical robots are moving around the mat in real life, you can see them moving on the augmented reality app, or you can put on goggles and see it in virtual reality goggles. So much great stuff with Kai's Clan. You know, as a former middle school technology teacher, I could see using Kai's Clan for a semester-long course. There's so many new and interesting things you can keep doing with Kai's Clan to really build lots of skills and lots of different technologies. And they have this brand new worldwide chess competition coming up. So it's definitely worth checking out if you're interested in playing chess and playing with others across the world. All right, our next favorite tech product is Technico. Now, Technico kind of looks like a lot of other stuff that we're familiar with. This is Technico right here in my hands. It is just a circuit board, but it's so much more than a circuit board because you can tap into live data from around the world, and you can show real-time data on a dashboard. So this circuit board has all types of sensors, light sensors, accelerometers, neopixels, LEDs, speakers, and when you connect it to your computer and get it all hooked up, you can see real-time data. What temperature is it in this room? How fast is it moving? Lots of really interesting things you can do with Technico. I'm gonna hop over to the platform really quick so I can show you what it looks like. So this is the coding platform. It's really small because my screen is really small right now. This is the coding platform. And what we first noticed on the side of the coding platform are all these internet-based things. So precipitation, daytime, UV index, outside temperature, International Space Station tracker. This is my absolute favorite. Seismic activity. So you can drag out these blocks, put in my zip code of where I'm located right now, and it will tell me if the International Space Station is overhead or not. So the International Space Station is currently not overhead in New York, but I could set up a code where if it is overhead, light up or make a noise, and we can go outside and look for it. So I think that's super cool. They're adding so many different sensors and data points from all over the world. So like looking at where sharks are there sharks close by? Seismic activity, we can talk about the volcanoes that have been exploding around the world and how that's related to seismic activity, and have all these interesting, unique projects with this. So when I connect my device also, I can head to the control center and I can see all the onboard data too. So it's currently not moving, it's just sitting on the desk. It's 21 degrees Celsius in here, 70 degrees Fahrenheit. It has a reflective light sensor that's reading 1,283, because it's super bright from the sun. And it tells me all this onboard data, which I can use to code as well. So Technico is super cool, and there's so much you can do with it, and it just keeps getting better and better. All right, next up. It always plays the video twice. I don't know why it does that. All right, Snapmaker 3-in-1 3D printer. I have one of these sitting in my living room now. The Snapmaker 3-in-1 printer. It's a 3D printer, a laser engraver, and a CNC machine, all in the same machine. And it's incredibly affordable. And it is incredibly high quality. They use these for professional activities all the time. There's a large builds area, which I really like about it. So there's a large builds plate so I can build big things, but it has a small footprint, so it doesn't take up a ton of space on the countertop. It works with lots of different materials, and there's an incredibly supportive community behind Snapmaker. It was the most funded 3D printer on Kickstarter. So when things like that happen, there tends to be this really supportive community that builds around it with forums and interesting things that really make it a great product. So definitely check out the Snapmaker. There's so much you can do with it, and I'm very eager to start doing some cool 3D printing and laser engraving in our apartment.
When the first Snapmaker was introduced, it raised...
Okay, next. Next is Crazy Circuits, and Crazy Circuits is my friend from Brown Dog Gadgets here in America. And Brown Dog Crazy Circuits combines electrical circuits, electronics, and Legos. So you can work with Legos to build your wildest dreams. So I have a Crazy Circuit kit right here. We use something called Maker tape to make the paths on the Lego. And Maker tape is a one of a kind invention from our friends at Brown Dog Gadgets. It is conductive tape that's conductive on both sides. It's also nylon, so you don't get paper cuts when you play with it, which is like the worst thing with copper tape. And it's reusable, so I could peel this off and re-stick it back on and it'll still work. There's tons of different parts, so it's compatible with motors and switches and microcontrollers and so much more. I have this blink and fade circuit board right here that is super fun to play with because I made like a little ambulance. And there's tons of project guides and easy to build things on their site. So definitely check out Brown Dog Gadgets and all the cool things they have, including their Crazy Circuits. All right, next up, I'll stop my ambulance, is, careers in STEM. So one of the important things that we think about when we talk about all these cool products is what careers can I have in the future, right? So as a person who loves all these gadgets and things, where do they lead me? Where do they lead my students to, you know, to their future? Like, how is this preparing them for jobs in the future? So we teach STEM and Maker Ed so we can develop problem solvers and designers and engineers. And our kids need to know what careers are out there. Oftentimes kids have no idea what's out there, and honestly, teachers don't either. So this link will take you to a playlist on YouTube of tons of different STEM careers. So definitely head there, check it out, watch some videos, see what interests you. There's a lot of interesting people on there that have very interesting careers that I never thought of before, and some stuff that you might have thought of before and want to just learn more about what they've done. So definitely check that out, because I think that's a really great resource for you and to continue to learn. For all the teachers out there, we have this awesome online course that you can take at your own pace to help you learn, how do I incorporate all these tools and technologies into my classroom? So the course is called The Ultimate Guide to Teaching Maker Ed. So if you head to ultimateguidetomakered.com, you will find the course and you can sign up for the course and take it at your own pace. It comes with tons of great things, including lesson ideas, project planners, templates you can use to help you do great STEM and Maker Ed projects in your class. So definitely check that out too, because it's an amazing resource. It's really affordable and really helpful for lots of teachers. And then YMaker, we are a professional development organization. So we create customized professional developments for your school and your association. We do all sorts of different workshops for teachers, workshops for administrators, They can be small, they could be long. We also do a lot of coaching. We currently resell more products than just the ones that I showed you. We have lots of cool stuff. We have a new cool product that's just launching called Fidgets, which has to do with sensors and tracking data. So check those out. We also have our own product line of our online course, like I just talked about. We sell a maker kit, so stuff to get you excited and building and creating quickly. And we have teacher planners and lots of lesson ideas and design challenges on our website. So lots of opportunities to be innovative with YMaker. And that's really my presentation. I went super fast, so I can go back, no worries. But if you have any questions, you're more than welcome to reach out to me. Find me on social media, send me an email, call me. I'm here to support you and teachers and anything that you need or want STEM or Maker Ed-wise.
Liz, I had a couple questions. I didn't want to keep interrupting you, so I just wrote them down.
Fine.
So when you were going through, and you don't laugh at me because I should know what this means, but I don't. You were going through the Snapmaker 3-in-1 printer. I don't know what CNC is, but I would like to know. So what's that third thing that you could do with that printer?
Oh gosh, computer number cutter. Oh my gosh, it stands for something. Numerical cutting. Computer aided numerical cutting.
So what does that mean?
So it's a more advanced type of cutting. We build projects in robust CAD platforms and then send them to the printer to cut. So lots of CNC, CNC happens at professional levels. I was watching a random TV show the other day, and this man is in a metal shop, and he was cutting big sheets of metal, intricate designs into big sheets of metal on a CNC machine. That was one example. CNC parts for a lot of, I'm looking at the furniture, a lot of our like pack and build furniture. So like stuff you get from like IKEA, that's all CNC machined. So it's precision cuts repetitively based on CAD drawings.
And how big a piece could you work with on that for either the laser cutting or the CNC?
Yeah, so it's as big as the bed is. So the bed, it's probably about 14 inches by 14 inches.
So that's not real small. I was thinking it would be a lot smaller.
No, it's big. And that's what I like about it. It's a big bed. There's a big place to print, but it doesn't take up a ton of space. It's not this like giant machine.
So do you consider that one a beginner could use this? Not the CNC necessarily, since that's different, but for the laser and for just the 3D printing?
Totally a beginner thing, totally affordable too, that it's easy for classrooms to take on and manage.
Okay. And then Techniverse, did you mention an age group for that? It seemed a little older.
It can be older, but the coding software, the platform is so simplistic. It's just like you're just dragging lines and you're doing like connecting blocks via lines. I don't think it's a much older product. I'd say like 8-9-year-olds and up, and you can scale it up. There's different, you can code in MakeCode too, which is the microbit platform. You could do it with 7-8-year-olds that are technically advanced or curious.
And then I'm curious as to how you find and then decide what process you go through to vet these different products. Since you're kind of not that you're endorsing them, but I guess you kind of are.
Yeah. So as a teacher, I meet people oftentimes reach out to me with products, and they're like, "Oh, we want you to resell this product." And I'm like, okay. So I hop on a call with them and I'm like, tell me all about it. Like, what does it do? What do you have? What can you offer teachers? How complicated is it to get started? And what's the life expectancy here? Like, is it just a one and done thing, or is it something that is sustainable and can be used over and over again and for multiple projects? And oftentimes they'll send me product to test out, and I test it out and I'm like, oh, this is garbage. I would never use this in a classroom, or this would never work in a classroom because, and then, so I decide, you know, based on my teacher gut, like I've taught a bunch of different subject areas in a bunch of different situations, and I know tons of teachers around the world. So putting myself in their shoes and empathizing the teachers and seeing how this would work.
Anybody creating, is anybody yet creating a device, not a device, a machine for at home that we will be able to recycle our own pieces to create what will go into a 3D printer as the media?
So I know that's a thing. I know there are additions you can add on to 3D printers that take your scrap filament that didn't work or a print that failed and put it in like the top, and it melts it back down into filament. I know that's a thing, an add-on. I don't know anyone off the top of my head who's doing it, but I know that it exists.
Yeah, somebody's got to start creating, using the same kind of filament for the plastics we generally use, so that we can recycle our own products and keep rebuilding them into things. That would be neat.
That would be cool. Like if you take a water bottle, put it in there, melt it down.
But then you wouldn't have to buy their filament anymore. So likely it might be a while before we find somebody willing to do that.
Yeah. Sounds like a nonprofit's idea.
Yeah. So sorry to steal all that question time. I'm sure Sherilyn has questions as well.
I do have one, Liz, in particular, and it was relative to the Technico. That was the one that caught my eye, mostly in the area of when you're saying all around the world and different things like that. I'm curious, it just always hits a button with me, what language your training is in and what language your manuals are in. And it's wonderful to have something. And if I ship it out to, you know, my colleague in, you know, Syria, if it's in English, I'm wondering what you have and how, what you have now, and if you don't have various languages or ability to make it accessible language-wise, if you need a partner or if you have plans to have a way to expand it.
Yeah, I mean, I would love any type of partner, any opportunity to do that. Our stuff is in English. We're translating a lot of our stuff to Spanish. We just did an amazing project with a company, with a nonprofit in Colombia and Dominican Republic, where we taught a bunch of teachers there how to teach STEM, and it was all in Spanish. And, you know, our website translates into every language. And yeah, if there's an opportunity, I would absolutely love to take that on and figure it out and do it together.
And the requests that you get in and the interest you have, Spanish obviously being the first, then what would be your second?
I mean, India.
Curiosity question, you know.
Yeah, we get a lot of requests from India.
India.
They speak English, yeah. So, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Great information. I think you should come back each gift with the new top 10, because I bet it changes quite frequently.
You know, this week we brought on Fidgets, and I was like, oh, I wish I like had it together enough to add it to this presentation, because Fidgets are really cool. They're professional grade sensors that professionals use everywhere in everything. Something like 1/3 of the factories in North America use a Fidgets product.
Fidgets though.
Fidgets, P-H-I-G-E-T-S.
And what kind of things do they sensor with them?
So all your typical sensors. When he was talking to me, I was like, oh, this is going to be some like advanced sensor I've never heard of before. No, it's a light sensor, a moisture sensor, like all these just regular sensors that I've heard of before. But what they're doing is they're combining them into kits, making them really accessible for classrooms. So I have a plant watering monitoring kit where there's, you know, a soil moisture sensor, a light sensor, and then a pump from a cup of water into my plant. So when the soil gets below this moisture level, it turns on the pump and brings in water.
Wow, that's a great idea. I can think of all sorts of places to use that.
It is, it really is. And it was so easy to set up.
So that's one that you didn't get in time for this. What are you looking at down the road now? I'm sure you're already eyeing a couple things.
Yeah, so there's another great company out of China, so that I'm waiting for their samples to see what comes of it, but they have some very interesting looking robots that don't look like anything I've ever seen before. So I'm interested to see how that turns out. Also, we're working on a top secret project with some of our friends who make Edison robots on an amazing new product that I think is just gonna revolutionize how STEM and maker ed stuff happens. So that should be coming out in October.
Oh, just in time for our October 16, 17 gift.
Yeah.
Maybe you can announce it and demo it there.
Yeah, we probably could.
You know, if you want to do something like that at the next gift where you actually have some students on too of whatever age group you want, that might be kind of cool.
That would be interesting.
The kids can ask you questions. They probably would have much more intelligent questions about some of this technology than I would.
Yeah.
It might trick you up.
Yeah, they could play with the kits and that could be really fun.
Yeah, that would be.
I love that.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. It's great to see this. This is the first time we've had anything like this on gift, and I think we should make it a regular stop.
Well, I'm glad you liked it.
Anything else you can think of, Sherilyn, that you'd like to ask, or anything else you'd like to contribute, Liz?
Thank you. You guys are awesome.
My input's gonna take a super secret route as well, so I'll direct it to Liz directly when I want to give anything away.
Sure.
Okay.
I love that.
I like all this espionage going on today.
Yes, just reach out, email.
Well, thank you so much. And Liz, we'll see you soon.
Excellent. Thank you. Stay well.
Thank you.